Welcome to Unleashed Opinion, boldly challenging the powers that be while keeping liberals in their place with conservative ideals and common sense solutions.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Unleashed Opinion.
I heard you missed me. I'm back.
You're back. Deacon's back in the house. About time. I don't know what he's been doing, but he wasn't here.
Busy. You know,
Yeah.
ever since I've been retired, Steve.
I hear you. Hey, big thank you out to our men and women in the armed services. Big thank you to John for putting up with us every week.
You got it.
Our listeners out there, you guys out in the garage on Route 125, you guys are awesome. The other listeners out there that send us emails and text messages, that helps a ton.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because we're not too bright.
Speak for yourself, mister.
Hey, I thank everybody out there in our law enforcement, fire department, first responders, and everything like that. Without you guys, you know, I mean, streets wouldn't be safe, and we wouldn't have anybody, you know, going out and rescuing anybody. So you guys are fantastic out there. I think we had another deal over in Virginia today where the ambulance and everything had to go.
Nothing good's going to happen there.
Pick some people up, so wasn't very good.
Alrighty, if you recall, last weekend was Memorial Day, and you know, as you know, Memorial Day is a day to remember our fallen soldiers who've been out there defending us since, you know, this country has started. So, you know, it's a day of remembrance. A lot of people have a tendency to associate it with a 3-day weekend,
Boozing up, cookouts,
barbecues, but it's a day of remembrance. And
here's something that's really kind of chafing my biscuits, I guess.
that's odd.
You've been seeing things on Facebook and hearing people, you know, starting to say Happy Memorial Day.
Well,
Okay, I don't really think it's a happy Memorial Day.
No, I agree with you.
You know,
it's a day of remembrance. It
is a day of remembrance. It's a solemn day of remembrance. You know, I mean, this still cuts a lot of people deep. You know, I mean, it's
absolutely. There's a lot of people who's lost family members and loved ones, and you know, this is a day taken set aside to remember those people. Mm-hmm. And if you make light of it, it's liable to chafe some people. So.
Yeah. So for all of you guys out there who are saying Happy Memorial Day, you may not be doing it to, you know, be mean or insensitive or anything like that, but please stop.
Alrighty. Hey, we've got a little video clip to go along with Memorial Day, and this is about 45 seconds long, and it's the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier.
Awesome.
And it's pretty awesome. And Bob and I were out there last year and went and watched the Changing the Guards. So let's take a quick look at this for Memorial Day. If you're ever in Washington, D.C., go take a look at it. It's just kind of slow moving, but it's pretty awesome.
That's fantastic. Aren't they rotated in and out every so often?
About every 30 minutes.
That's probably a good thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the attention to detail right there is just phenomenal.
And you can get online and watch some of the videos, the Changing the Guard, and how detailed it is. And it's a bit time consuming. It's kind of slow moving, but it's very disciplined. And like I say, if you're in D.C., go by and take a look at it. I will guarantee somebody will be there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But that's pretty awesome, you know. And Memorial Day being this past weekend, I thought it'd be a pretty good clip to play. So
it's fantastic.
What you got there, mister?
Well, we, you and I and Bob and a few others attended the memorial services in the Beardstown up on the square Monday. It was another, you know, it was very good services. Thank Don Shipman, and I want to thank VFW Post 1239 for putting on these services and having, you know, another day of remembrance and memorial services for our fallen comrades in arms. And because, you know, and we need more people to start coming to these things. I know some people still had to work, but need to start getting a few more people out there. But it was a very good, it was a good time for those services, and a great day. It was a great day.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely was.
And then they went up to the river, and they put the wreath in the river and let it float down the river and everything. And so, yeah, very good.
That is outstanding. Yeah, and like you said, and here again, Memorial Day is about remembering fallen comrades.
Absolutely. So. And since we're on veterans, the White House just put up a veterans hotline.
Say.
Yeah, it's for veterans to voice their concerns about the Veterans Administration and other federal programs. So there's a number posted on our webpage, but here it is, 855-948-2311. So all you veterans out there, if you have complaints, concerns about the VA, which I think a lot of you do, and other federal programs, give them a shout out and tell them your thoughts. Say, hey, look, I'm not happy with this crap. So there that is.
Alrighty. Hey, I got my Elks magazine the other day, and on the front cover of that was WASP, and WASP is the Women's Air Force Service Pilots.
Really?
It was a pretty interesting article, and this was this Jacqueline Cochran was the one who kind of had the first idea on doing things like this, and they were flying non-combat planes, and she was the first female, I believe, to fly a bomber from the U.S. to England in 1939.
Really?
And she was part of the Air Transit Auxiliary. And then in 1942, Nancy Harkness Love formed the Women's Auxiliary Flying Squadron. Then they joined together to make what is called WASP, and that's the Women's Air Force Service Pilots. And they were testing and ferrying planes, and from one spot to another.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, they're non-combat missions. But the hard part is they were towing targets for gunnery practice. So behind these planes, they were towing something behind them, and they were using live ammunition, both in the air and off the ground, flying these things. And this was done under General Henry Arnold. So that was interesting.
Well, that takes a little bit of guts on the part of those women, not just to fly the planes, but to fly targets behind them to get shot at.
Yeah, no kidding. But, this Jacqueline Cochran was first came out and says, look, we know there's a shortage of male pilots to do the combat missions. Mm-hmm. Us women who are commercial pilots at this point, why can't we move planes from one base to another? And like I say, she flew from the U.S. to England. So they started that. So the women played a very big part in World War II also. So.
Absolutely they did. Well, even especially on the home front.
Oh, absolutely,
when
yes.
the men were taking off, old Rosie the Riveter, women went to work in factories and everything. So, yeah, fantastic.
That is super. So what else we got here? Hey, let's talk about, just came out this afternoon, the Trump saying we're going to get out of the Paris Accord. The Paris Climate Accord. Let me throw that in.
Tickles my fancy.
Oh, yeah, and this was signed by Obama, and it's a non-binding agreement, and there's 195 countries involved in this. The downside of this...
Who's paying the majority of this?
If I were guessing, I'm going to guess it would be you and me.
There's
the
a
other people
shocker.
in the United States.
There's a shocker and a half, folks.
The problem with this is if you do not follow this non-binding agreement, there's no way to enforce it.
You're kidding me.
Well, Obama did sign it, so it's to be expected. So.
Is that why China keeps pumping out, all these evil carbon emissions that these climate changes are saying about?
Yeah, that would be why.
And they're not enforcing any penalties on them.
No.
But yeah, we're still paying, and they're not paying their share. And apparently there's a lot of countries not paying their fair share, and that's one of the reasons that we're getting out of this.
And that was one of the things, if you've seen any of the videos over the weekend where Trump was talking about NATO and things like this, he got some bad reactions from some of the other countries' leaders. But you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did, because they're going to have to start forking over some more freaking money. I mean, for crying out loud, number one, the whole climate thing is a freaking bullcrap smokescreen. Okay? It's nothing but control and redistribution of wealth. If you don't like what I'm saying here, tough crap. He did say he's willing to negotiate a better deal.
Okay.
What that entails, I don't know. And apparently, this Paris climate change would only reduce global temperature by 1/fraction of 1 degree Celsius by the year 2100. So,
wow.
We're not getting a whole lot of bang for our buck here.
No. I seen a little clip of Mark Stein from earlier today, and he's on Fox News, go figure. And he says libs can say, well, we can't control the borders, because the illegal immigrants are going to come in anyway. We can't control the borders, and run around there like their hair's on fire. And then they want to turn around and say, but we can control the heavens, talking about the climate change. Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. You claim you cannot control human action, but you can control the climate. Really? Are you serious?
Cloud seeding.
And the other thing is, let's compare this thing to the cap and trade deal that Al Gore was talking about several years ago. And the thing of it is it's all about carbon emissions. And they were talking about a carbon tax, and these major industries, they were going to be allowed X number of cubic tons of carbon pollution that they could emit, and it's going to cost them so much for a permit and all yada, yada, yada. However, here's the real kicker, is that if you did not use up all the carbon emissions that you were allowed on your permit, you could sell them to somebody else.
What?
So that tells you right there, it's not about carbon emissions. It's about money.
It's all about the money. Well, it's all about the money. Look at what Al Gore did.
Yeah. Well,
he put this flam video out that says, by right now, folks, Florida's supposed to be underwater because, the earth is sizzling. Turns out he was the first ever climate billionaire, even though he's flying across the country in his jet, emitting God knows how many carbon emissions all over the frickin' place for umpteen years now, with a $20,000 electric bill coming out of his house every month. But that's okay.
Sure.
So they can pay for, as long as they can pollute as much as they want, as long as they pay for it. Is that what it is?
That's what it boils down to, yeah. As long as you have the cash to do it, it'll be all right.
Yeah, that'll change a lot. Somebody's bank account.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
But you know what the sad thing about that is, though?
People are believing this stuff.
The sheep follow right in.
Yeah, exactly. People are believing this stuff. And you talk about Al Gore out there flying around doing his thing, preaching about global warming. Mm-hmm. Did you see Obama here just recently? He was on his way to some climate summit or something like that. And I don't know, there was an entourage of aircraft around his aircraft, and about half a dozen SUVs to take him where he was going. It was... and
didn't he get like $400,000 to do that?
That probably was one of the speeches he gave for $400,000.
I think he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go figure.
Go figure, exactly.
Mr. Obama.
Where you want to go to next, Jerry?
Crap, I don't know.
Oh, let's thank our graduates, high school, college.
I had that down right here. See that? Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, right at the top of the page. Can't believe you missed it.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah, hey, we just want to say congratulations to all the high school kids, college graduates. You guys put in a lot of time and effort, so
you achieved your goal.
Absolutely, and
that is awesome. You had a goal out there and you achieved it. That is extremely awesome.
It is, because I mean, you can. I don't know how many probably people out there that still don't have a high school education.
Sure,
and
I don't know how they get by. To be honest with you,
I don't either. College grads, or I mean, that's fantastic if you can do that. You people that go to trade schools.
Sure, absolutely.
That's fantastic, because I think that's what we need even more of. People going out and learning a trade, because you might get a $15 minimum wage or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, we'll get to that here shortly. So, we're talking about the high school and college graduations, trade school graduations. Vice President Pence gave his speech at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't so very receptive at all. Let's take a quick look at this, and we got a little video clip of this, and then we want to comment on these knuckleheads.
Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Snowflakes are leaving.
Absolutely.
Oh, they're getting a great round of applause, aren't they?
Yeah, as they should.
Father Jenkins,
Okay, so Mike Pence is about to give his speech before this graduating college class, and these clowns want to walk out. These entitled little pukes and start running around saying, "Not my president, not my vice president. I mean, I don't have to listen to you." And you're right, you don't. You don't have to listen to him. You didn't have to show up for your graduation. But you know what? If you're going to go to your graduation, at least give the man respect for coming to speak at your college.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to like him. You know what? If I would have graduated college and Obama or one of his people would have came and spoke, I either would have not went to the graduation or I'd have sat through it, one or the other. I would not disrespected this man, the number 2 leader of this country, by walking out on him like that. You entitled little pukes.
Well, I think one of the reasons they're walking out of the man's a Christian. He's not for abortion. He's not for gay marriage and things like that. So these people, these twinkle toes, are getting up and walking out. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, and they're also, okay, they're at a Catholic school. A Catholic school, which, predominantly says we're not for abortions, we're not for gay marriages or anything like that. So maybe you're at the wrong school.
That very well. Where's your tolerance?
Well, there is none.
What happened to the tolerance that these people want to preach about? Where is it?
They want to preach tolerance until it's on the other foot. And then, they can cry and whine like little freaking babies. I mean, hey, if they want to do those things, that's fine. But my goodness, it's got to go both ways. You got to be tolerant to the right, just like they want us to be tolerant to the left. And that's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. That's absolutely right. Which brings me to another thing here in Portland, Oregon. The mayor of Portland, Oregon wants the federal government to there's going to be on June 4th and June 10th. There's going to be on the 4th is a Trump free speech rally, and he wants the federal government to shut this thing down. And on the 10th, there's going to be a march against Sharia law. Now, the reason he wants the federal government involved in this is because they control the permits for this ground. But they had an incident where some guy was yelling anti-Muslim slurs, and he ended up stabbing 2 people to death. So in light of this, he says, well, this is a bad situation. It's a wrong time for these things to happen, which I'm thinking this guy, there's not going to be a good time for this stuff to happen, according to the mayor. But you know what? Here again, where's your tolerance? If it was an anti-Trump rally, what would you do? Would it be okay then?
Oh, sure. Well, just like all that crap is going on out of Berkeley out there.
Absolutely.
That super liberal college out there. Again, preach tolerance, but yet they show the least amount of tolerance.
Right.
That's another thing that just chaps my butt about the liberal left. I hate it. This makes me sick.
There's a Facebook page for the Trump free speech rally stated that the event will feature speakers exercising their free speech, live music, flags, and an uplifting experience to bring back strength and courage to those who believe in freedom.
Awesome.
That does sound pretty awesome. Yeah, where's the downside?
Yeah, where's the downside to this?
There is no downside on that. And the other, on the 10th, the organizer of the March Against Sharia said Sharia law is incompatible with our Constitution and with American values.
And it is.
And it is. So where's the downside on either one of those? I mean, you had a bad incident. Okay, I understand that. And this was over last Friday, I think it was. So this is still 2 weeks after the fact. I don't see where the mayor has anything to complain about in wanting the federal government to shut this down.
No, I mean, you take these people at University of Notre Dame that walked out on Pence. Do they not understand what Sharia law means to homosexuals?
No kidding.
It's called death.
And what about women in general?
Absolutely.
They're substandard species.
Well, shall we go to the German honor killings right off of this here?
Go ahead and go with it.
To all you people that think that it's okay to let all these Muslim migrants in and that Sharia law is okay and this is a religion of peace, well, you might want to think again, because we've got about 26 honor killings in the past month or so over in Germany. Can you believe that? 26 of them. Let's just start here. January 4th. Oh, boy. In Buckheim, a 44-year-old Iraqi man murdered his 19-year-old daughter because he did not approve of her boyfriend. 2 days later, he called police, says I killed my daughter. The man may never face justice. He is believed to have fled to Iraq. February 1st in Hamburg, 26-year-old Afghan man stabbed his estranged 28-year-old wife during an argument. She survived the attack, amazingly. Let's see. We got... the court over there heard how Amir K. stabbed the mother of his 3 children in the chest and neck more than 20 times with a large kitchen knife because he thought she wanted to divorce him.
Well, this Sharia law is really great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
You know what? Boy, I'll tell you what.
It says here, the trial of a Kurdish man who tied one of his 3 wives to the back of a car and dragged her through the streets of a town in Lower Saxony has drawn attention to an outbreak of Muslim honor violence in Germany. Honor violence, ranging from emotional to physical and sexual violence to murder, usually carried out by the male family members against female family members who are perceived to have brought shame upon a family or clan. Offenses include refusing to agree to an arranged marriage, entering in a relationship with a non-Muslim or someone not approved by the family, refusing to stay in an abusive marriage, or living an excessively Western lifestyle. To all of you Americans who like your Western lifestyle, if you have Sharia law, you're not going to have it anymore. However, the lines between crimes of honor and crimes of passion are often blurred, and any challenge to male authority can elicit retribution, which is sometimes staggeringly brutal, believe it or not.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, then we have here when a guy takes a knife and plunges into a lady's chest, penetrates the pericardium and heart muscle. Second stab opens up the left abdominal cavity and pulls out the axe. Starts whacking away on her.
Wow.
Is it?
And I don't understand this Sharia law thing. How people think this is wonderful. Really, apparently you haven't looked into it very well.
Well, this is that religion of peace that they want, and they don't understand that it's not the religion of frickin' peace. If they practice true Islam, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm. Why do people not understand that? Because it's easy to find.
They like to live with blinders on.
I guess.
They don't want to think anyone is bad or anything is bad. It's just completely ridiculous.
So you're talking about Germany.
That's just Germany.
That's just Germany, right. So I was going to move on to the German Chancellor. Okay.
Angela Merkel?
Yeah, that's the one. As you know, Trump made a big tour here recently and was received very well in most places he went. Israel, man, they liked him there.
Absolutely.
Him and the Pope got along well. So
really,
yeah. Well, I think when we got down to NATO and he's talking about people ponying up their share of the deal here, their share of the money, it ruffled a bunch of feathers. And Miss Merkel comes out and says, "Well, let's take a look at the video." And then
Donald Trump ruffled some feathers.
Couldn't you believe it? Oh. Let's take a look at this thing.
Well, he didn't bow to anybody.
Rely fully on others, they are somewhat over. This is what I experienced in the last few days, referring or implying President Trump. We Europeans must really take our destiny into our own hands.
I think it's a kind of declaration of independence on the part of Angela Merkel, and it's very good news. It basically means that Europe will be taking more responsibility for its own security. There's absolutely no reason for us to be funding the security of a rich country. It's one thing to pay for welfare for poor people, but welfare for rich countries, that's something quite different.
What's stupid?
She comes out and says, well, I guess the days of relying on somebody else to take care of us are over. No kidding.
There you go.
No kidding.
Personal authority, taking care of your own business.
Yeah. Well, we can't rely on anybody else to take care of our country.
Everybody hates America and they want us out of their business.
There you go.
Unless we're funneling money into them, then we'll take your money. Yeah.
That just amazes me. She comes out and says, well, I guess we're going to have to take care of ourselves. No kidding.
Jeez.
And that guy there at the end of that clip, that was Dinesh D'Souza.
He's very good.
He's very good.
He's very good. Hey, getting back to that honor killings and stuff like that, Ramadan, which is a Muslim holiday, started on May 26th and goes to June 24th. And ISIS has called for an all-out war against the West during this so-called holy month of theirs. And
What, the Religion of Peace did?
yes, the
Oh, okay.
Religion of
Just
Pieces.
checking. Yeah.
Let's see. And since the beginning of Ramadan on May 26th, there's been 13 attacks and 120 deaths. Imagine
Wow.
that.
But you know
That
what?
so-called religion of peace. And there's been more than 30,000 deadly attacks since 9/11.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. But hey, let's take in these refugees because they need a place to go.
Sure,
right? We don't have to talk
absolutely.
to them, ask who they are. We don't have to check records. Oh, wait, there's no records checked. Just bring them on in.
Break down your
remember-
border walls.
You remember Tammy Duckworth, who represents Illinois, right? She says
Mm-hmm.
we need 200,000 of these people. So this would be really great, won't it?
Well, yeah, let's let them go live with Tammy Duckworth. Put your
I'm with you.
freaking money where your mouth is. You want the refugees here? Pony up. Let them come stay at your house.
Take them home with you.
Yeah, you know.
Better yet, if you really want to take care of them, go to their place and take care of them because we don't want them here.
Maybe Katy Perry can take down her borders that goes around her house, and she can take care of them since
Wow.
she likes open borders herself.
Well,
Oh my goodness!
which part of stupidity, which one do you want to hit next?
I don't know. Just grab one. We got
Okay.
plenty.
Was we able to get that Mark Zuckerberg video? Okay. Mark Zuckerberg, you know, he's the founder of, was it Facebook? Is that right? He's one of the computer
He is.
gurus. Well, he comes out and says that we need
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
universal basic income. He's talking about people need to have, well, let's look at the speech and then we'll beat it up after that.
Its definition of equality. Previous generations fought for the vote and civil rights. They had the New Deal and Great Society.
And they didn't work.
And now it's time for our generation to define a new social contract. We should have a society that measures progress not just by economic metrics like GDP, but by how many of us have a role we find meaningful. We should explore ideas like universal basic income to make sure that everyone has a cushion to try new ideas.
So you can't fail. You can't fail
We're
because
all
it
gonna
doesn't
change
matter.
Jobs and roles many times, so we need affordable childcare to get to work and healthcare that's not tied to just one employer. And we're all going to make mistakes. So we need a society that's less focused on locking us up and stigmatizing us when we do. And as our technology keeps on evolving, we need a society that is more focused on providing continuous education through our lives.
Okay, so he's talking about if you fail, people make mistakes and says we shouldn't be getting locking people up and having the stigma that goes along with that. You know, yeah, people do make mistakes, but you make a pretty serious mistake if you're getting locked up, for one. I just want to
Yeah.
hit that before I forgot about it.
Well, maybe he can take them to his house too.
Well, you know, and to his credit, I think he does contribute a lot of money to different charities. But what he's talking about, universal basic income, which means so you can experience new things, you can try new things, and have a cushion if you happen to fail.
So is that meaning like the government's going to give us money and we don't have to work or something like that?
Yeah, it's socialism. It's just another
Oh,
word for
you're
socialism.
kidding me?
No, wouldn't kid you. But you know, this guy's one of the top 10 richest people in the world, or something like that. He's extremely rich, so money's not a big issue to him. And like I say, he does contribute to different charities. But why is he telling the rest of us to go along with his socialist program? Because we already know it's not going to work. Because if you have a cushion, if you happen to fail on the project, how hard are you actually going to try to get there? You say, hey, I'm going to try this today. Well, that didn't work, so I'll go lay down for a few months.
And there it is right there.
Exactly.
You know, they don't want us to try. They don't want us to use our own frickin' minds. They want us to tell us what to eat, what to wear, where to work, and how to live our frickin' lives. And Mark, hey, kiss my butt.
Hmm.
You know, maybe you should bring some of that universal money to me that you've made off of Facebook and everybody like me.
There you go. Let's start with
You know,
that.
put your frickin' money where your mouth is. Send some frickin' money to me. Pay off my house, my cars, and things like that. Provide for my kids' education.
There you go. Fun unleashed opinion.
There you go.
Now we're talking.
Pay me to do this.
You know we're out of time already.
Crap.
That went quick.
First day back, I'm already out of time.
Yeah. Remember, if you love your country, if you love your freedom, thank a veteran. Thanks for tuning in.
God bless you.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.